you. Hi, Wendy. It's so nice to meet you. Yes. Stay at the Grandmore Inn. I love it. Yes, it's Eddie and Christopher. Yeah. So they put me up and treat me royally. So I'm wearing my little crown today. Nice to meet you, Wendy. I'm singing the gospel reading. Yeah, so yeah. It's printed in here. It's 1 Corinthians 13. So yeah, it's in the it's so beautiful. I love it. And so yeah, that's what teacher. It's so nice to meet you. I'm Yolanda. Oh, of course. No. I'm so happy for the kids. So happy that the kids are here. So no problem at all. I'm so happy. Oh. We'll do it. Who is our friend? Jack. Hi. Hello, Jack. Oh, thank you. Thank you. How you doing, Jack? And here's our other
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, so happy.
I'm going to give you another chance to say hi in just a moment. Okay. So let me first say I'm Reverend Gail Doctor. I'm the pastor here at Jackson Community Church. This is Reverend Yolanda. Her bio is inside our bulletin, and we are thrilled to have her here today. She has been the MC of the Pride Festival every year that we've held it so far. And I was privileged, Chris and I attended a gospel hour that she did a few years ago at the Episcopal Church. So our deacons extended an invitation for Reverend Yolanda to come lead worship with us today. And so this is the time in the service for announcements. I don't have any big announcements for this week, except next weekend is, of course, 4th of July weekend. We won't have our Bible study C3 again next Friday. We'll resume it mid-July, July 12th. Chris and I are going to be up at the Horton Center with the board of directors for the entire statewide board. So we'll be away on Friday. But we'll have worship as usual, and we always talk about independence and what that means on this weekend. So come and be with us, or be safe in your travels next weekend. And I just want to say that yesterday's Pride was a wonderful experience. There were 2 churches that our sponsors, Nativity Lutheran and Jackson Community, and several churches who were present. Their pastors came or they sent supplies, and we're all there to support our neighbors, our community, our own family and kindred. And the energy was great, and we had volunteers from this church and other churches, and it was just a good feeling. And so I'm proud of our church for being there and making sure that people know that church belongs to all of us, the cross belongs to all of us, and that love is bigger than anything we can imagine, and people belong to our community without barrier. Which is why Reverend Yolanda is here, among other things, to just remind us about that. With that, I want to invite any other announcements that anybody might have for the community. Are there any such announcements? Okay. And with that, then I'm going to invite you all to greet your neighbors. We're doing Passing of the Peace. Reverend Walt Hampton introduced that while I was on sabbatical, and so we're still trying it out. So please say hello to your neighbors just in the pews around you, and especially if you see somebody you don't know, extend your hand and welcome people, please.
Just saying hi to people. I love it. Hello.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
I love
you.
you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes. Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Hello, my love. How you doing? There we go. Hello. Good morning.
All right, everybody. And before we start into the main part of the service, we're going to do things a little out of order today, and that is that we're going to do any prayers that you want to lift up. We're going to start our day with those prayers, and then we're going to hand the service over to Reverend Yolanda. There's prayer in her service as well. However, our tradition of community prayer, I think, is super valuable, and I do just want to give time for any community prayers that we want to lift up. We start with prayers of concern. We turn to prayers of gratitude and celebration. I do have a couple of requests already for prayers, and so I want to give those names to you. Those would be, these are coming from Donna Dunn. She has people in her life, John, who's living with an inoperable form of cancer, and a very young niece, grandniece named Emmy, with a very rare form of epilepsy. She's an infant, and this is a life-limiting condition for her. It's a very rare form. And so for both John and Emmy, they're in the same family, 2 generations, facing life-limiting conditions right now. So we ask that you will add them to the list of names that you will already see on the back of the bulletin. And there are many people that we are lifting up in prayer. Saying their names and holding them in energy and heart and thought and prayer during the week is important. It makes a difference. Are there any other prayers of concern that you wish to bring up out loud in our community this morning? Meg?
I'd like us to remember Lakin Rancourt,
Yes.
whose new husband of about a year passed away last week from cancer.
Yeah.
He had a very short and difficult journey.
Yeah. For Lycan, who is grieving her new husband, for her journey through life and for the brevity of her relationship, and yet the privilege of meeting somebody that you love, even for so brief a time. Other prayers of concern? Jack?
Yeah, I have a colleague named Sam, and was
So his name is Dick. Nick, okay. So for Jack's colleague Nick, for answers to questions, for a stabilized condition, for a path towards health and recovery and well-being. Any other prayers in our community of concern? I would ask that we continue to raise up Bob S. in our prayers, please, as well. We balance what is heavy and hard with what gives us joy. And we share those things out loud too, to remind each other how we rise up in the morning and we find resilience and perspective and gratitude and ways to live a full life even when we have heavy hearts. And so if you have anything that you want to celebrate this morning, I would invite you to say that out loud as well. And I'm going to start by saying it's lovely to see both Quinn and Jack here visiting Gigi, bringing life into our sanctuary. That is just wonderful. And also, just a moment of gratitude and appreciation again for the Pride Festival yesterday. We met people in our tent who had come to a Pride Festival for the first time, who came from a little bit further north in New Hampshire down to be at that festival, and it was the first time, and people felt a sense of connection or belonging. Also said it was really calm event. I think people were prepared for a lot of resistance, and it's been a very welcoming experience, I think, in the Valley, yeah. And really successful, everything. So for the gratitude to create a space where people feel safe and can fully express themselves and celebrate in ways that they might not in their everyday life, it's more important than we know. And it opens a door to a connection that goes really deep. And so for gratitude that people had the vision to do it, and that we all help hold that space. What are you celebrating this weekend, Bob?
Well, about a week ago, I asked for prayers for my niece and grandson that had a special operation.
Yes.
Skull. Surgery was very successful. And my niece and her husband spent the night with us last night. This friends.
So he's well enough to travel, but the
grandson is still at home.
Okay.
But my niece was in question whether she'd be able to travel.
Yeah. And say his first. We weren't sure about his name. That's Micaeus. Okay. So we lift people up in prayer, and we are grateful when we get a follow-up that says prayer has been part of healing. And so for Micaeus and his well-being, we have been praying for a lot of children, among others, in this community. Any other prayers of celebration? Sue and Gillian?
This is lightweight, but I am ever so grateful to our dear Lord for watering my very pricey new laid-out lawn.
For free watering from the sky and the heaven. Thank you, Susie. Gillian?
I'd like to offer prayers of thanks for the doctors and all the people involved in caring for people who have serious illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And my son is one who is 50. He was diagnosed with a very serious stage 4 multiple myeloma 2 years ago. He's hiking the White Mountains.
Oh. Yay.
Kind of makes you want to cry, right? Gillian's son is hiking the White Mountains. Love it. Sometimes, go ahead, Tom, please.
I have been not well since the beginning of the year, at least, largely why I haven't been here. And I want to give special thanks to my wife, who stayed by me when those people wouldn't. Who stayed with me and helped me, and for Dale for making house calls and special trips and really being there in person.
Tom's gratitude for the people around him who love him through everything. That is love at its best, right? That's what we all hope for in our lives. And we may not have it the fullness of our life, but when we need it, we know it and we love it. So we are grateful. Other prayers?
To say, I'm grateful that this doctor, your husband, sponsors a men's breakfast roughly once a month. And all the men who attend,
Yeah.
I can assure you appreciate it.
So for chances to get together, Ginger is kind of one of our instigators for the women in our congregation to gather often, although we have an invitation from Maureen Sullivan to come to her house in July. But Chris, who happens to be my husband, makes breakfast for the guys once a month, and their favorite part of it, I think, is bacon. Even when they're not allowed to have it any other time, they have it then. What happens at the church stays in the church. Unless I out you from the pulpit, which I just did. Any other prayers of gratitude or celebration? Then I would ask that you pray with me. O holy God, O Spirit who connects all of us and sees in us our dignity and our capacity to love each other and our worthiness, no matter who we are or how we are met by that holy love. We have offered to you our prayers of concern. We have many more that we didn't even say out loud. And we have places in the world that we are praying for, as well as people. And yet we also place in your keeping our peace, our strength and our resilience and our gratitude and our capacity to love. Because what we learn about love is that there isn't a limit, and that we have the capacity to love more and more, and that love will surprise us again and again. And that love is stronger than fear and hate and everything else. And that is why we are here gathered, to be reminded of how we love each other and love ourselves and love this world and love you who brings love into our lives. In your name we pray. Amen. With that, I want to turn this over to Reverend Yolanda.
Okay. Thank you. I think I'm wired. Yes, you can hear me. Yay. I'm going to have a little sip of water first. First of all, I want to say I'm already in tears. You guys are just so beautiful. You really have a wonderful community. And I'm so, so happy to be here. Thank you for your love and your support. Just 1 second. I'm going to cry, so Oh, goodness. One of the joys in my life is sharing songs that I've written, but really I feel come from spirit, you know. So I'm going to open us today. Instead of having a scripture reading, we're going to have a scripture singing. So I hope you'll enjoy this. This is 1 Corinthians 13, and there's a translation in your from the revised, New Revised. Okay. All right. I call this Love Divine. Speak with tongues of men and angels, and though I prophesy and understand the world, and though I have all faith to say to mountains you must go away, but have not love, I feed the poor and give of my life. If love has no place in me, then what am I? If I do not have charity, if love does not flow from me, then what is life? Love divine, love divine, love divine. Love is patient, love is kind, and love is wise. Love can never come from a jealous mind. It's never proud, but gentle, meek. Resistance is not what it seeks. It sets the mind at peace. And love's the one that sings when the truth prevails. Love believes in good when it looks like hell. And love's the one that bears the wrong. Love's the one that's always strong and never fails. And when I was a child, I acted as a child. But now I can heal myself from those times. The looking glass no longer dark. I see the light that's shining there within my heart. Love divine, love divine, love divine. Love divine. Thank you. We're going to do a sing-along. As you can see, I'm going through a range of emotions here today with you. I want to just start off by saying, before we do the sing-along, that my husband of 20 years just passed in March. So there's a lot of emotion, and I'm hearing, you know, in the congregation, is why I'm so moved already. Concerns and folks that have passed and folks that are having struggles in their bodies. And I want to say that I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. And as my husband would say, and in fact was the topic of his very last sermon, the only way out is through. So as we move through our experiences and we join together in our love for each other, we find strength. We find the way. So anyway, I just wanted to start that way. I probably won't cry the whole time, but as you can see, you guys are really touching me. So let's start. I'm doing some sing-alongs today that are old-fashioned sing-alongs that I'm pretty sure you'll probably know. I've changed a couple of words, perhaps, and I have put on my starry crown for you right here. And so we're going to start with Down by the Riverside. So hopefully you'll know this one. Gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside, gonna lay down my burdens. Down by the riverside, down by the riverside. And I ain't gonna study war no more, ain't gonna study war no more, ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more, ain't gonna study war no more, ain't gonna study war no more. Yeah. And I'm gonna put on my starry crown way down. Yeah, way down. Way down. Gonna put on my starry crown way down. Down by the riverside. And I ain't gonna study one more, ain't gonna study one more, ain't gonna study one no more, ain't gonna study one more, ain't gonna study one more, ain't gonna study one no more. Okay, here's my favorite verse of the day. Gonna put on my rainbow robe way down, way down, way down. Gonna put on my rainbow robe down by the riverside, down by the riverside. And I ain't gonna study one more, ain't gonna study one more, ain't gonna study one no more, ain't gonna study one more, ain't gonna study one more, ain't gonna study one no more. Thank you for singing with me. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, goodness gracious. I love that song. Actually, it seems very appropriate today. So I just kind of follow Spirit's guidance. I'm an interfaith, non-dual minister. I went to seminary at One Spirit Interfaith Seminary in New York City, where I've lived for the past 20 years. Actually, in total, I've lived in New York City for 30 years. Just moved to Vermont in process. Actually, I have one more truckload to go to Brooklyn and come back. But I'm close to Brattleboro now, about 3 hours away from you guys. So hopefully we'll do some more things together in the future. But so what I like to do is tune in and let guidance take me where it may lead. And I felt very strongly to sing Down by the Riverside. And as I was coming over, I was like, look at this beautiful, I'm crossing a bridge, I was like, look at this beautiful river, And then I'm thinking, as you're sharing already this morning, how in the midst of our troubles and such, there's a way that we can lay down our burdens and put them in the hands of God, and rest in that. And so I know that that's a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today. But I know that you have a link to that, and I can feel it and hear it and see it in your eyes and in your hearts. I can feel that here. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. But first, I like to do a little meditation that I call the Circle of Love. And in this meditation, in our church, we look at meditation as something where we don't push away anything or try to be the perfect meditator or anything like that. We allow ourselves to be in the moment, in the present, and then whatever thoughts are going through our minds, because that always happens, When you go to the stillness, though, it gives us an opportunity to, calm that steady stream of thought process, right? So what we say is when we're in meditation is to relax into your seat, relax into where you are, eyes closed, eyes open, however is more comfortable for you, but just to be present with where you are right now. And whatever happens to come through your mind, it's okay. Don't try to push it out. Just acknowledge it and say, oh, hello, there you are again, even if it's like something that, keeps repeating, So, and then the urging will be, it'll be sort of guided, but the urging will be to, sense beyond those thoughts to what, there's an awareness that is aware of all of those thoughts, right? And all of those feelings that we have. There's an awareness that is beyond our thoughts and feelings. So in that awareness is what I call sacred mystery, or the word God, or as my husband said, the voice that likes you. And so this is where we're going to move to today. So I'll ring the bell 3 times. I'm going to do an Om. You can chant with me if you want. It's just a simple Om. And if you don't have to, but I'm going to ring the bell 3 times, take 3 deep breaths, release it on an Om, and guide us into our meditation. I'm not going to spend too much, I'm not going to take up too much time, but just for a moment to see if we can just move a little bit beyond our thoughts into the awareness that is aware of everything. So here we go. We are here, right now, in this beautiful community, in this wonderful building, in this church that we love, with people that we love. So right now, we are co-creating together a circle of unconditional love where we actually welcome in everything that we like and everything that we do not like. We welcome it all in because we learn from it all and we grow from it all. So in this time together, let's just take a moment to feel comfortable in our bodies. And just let whatever thoughts may arise, say hello to them. And let them pass on through. And if there are strong feelings that we may be having, may we feel those feelings as intensely as they arise. May we honor our feelings and what they have to say to us. And in our honoring of this moment, in the stillness, with the glorious sounds of the stillness, let's know that there is an awareness, sacred mystery, God, Holy Spirit, or the voice that likes you, that is actually beyond our body-mind, and that is aware of all our thoughts, our feelings, our concerns, our joys, our needs. And in that spirit, we can rest and trust. And in this knowingness, may we be secure. And in our time together, as we come back out of our meditation into this very present moment, may we have the trust and the knowledge to know that we can return to this peace that already exists within us at any moment as we release our fears. Because in the stillness there is hope. It lights the way as I travel far to my certain goal of oneness with love. Blessed be, and so it is. Okay. Before I share what I want to speak to you about, I want to sing this song. It's from the Sikh tradition. It's a prayer of blessing and protection. And it's so meaningful to me personally because it speaks of true identity, and that's what I want to share with you in my topic message today. So I will sing it in Punjabi, Sanskrit, Punjabi, and also in English. So the English translation that I sing is basically word for word. I've added the word sacred mystery, but that is in reference to God. So this song is called Ad Gure Name. Gure Name Juga Gure Name Sat Gure Name Sri Guru Deve Name Ad Gure Name Juga Gure Name Sat Gure Name Sri Guru Deve Name Ad Gure Name Jugat Gure Name Satguru Name Sri Guru Deve Name. I bow to thee, O God, infinite wisdom, my true identity. I bow to thee. Wisdom of the ages, the source of all creation, my true identity. I bow to thee. Yes, I bow to thee. Yes, I bow to thee. So Reverend Gail told me when I wanted to sing this song that she knew this song, so I was really happy. I asked her to sing with me, and it seems like you've had experience in Kundalini Yoga, is that right? Yeah. So I don't know if anybody else has had experience with yoga or Kundalini Yoga or the Aquarian Sadhana, but I'm very interested in mantras and how they're almost like, like lay down your burden, lay it down by the rivers, like we repeat and repeat, and those messages sink deeper into our souls when we repeat them. So actually, this particular mantra is one that I sing probably about 5 times a day, more than likely. One way it's traditionally used is to, before you drive, before you get in the car, is to sing the mantra 3 times before you even start the engine. And so it gives me a chance to pause, and receive blessings before I start the car. And actually, so it doesn't prevent anybody from giving you the bird, in the traffic or anything like that. But when that does happen, it gives me a resource to, okay, so that just happened. Thank you, God. Let me just move on, instead of getting all upset about it. But I say all this to say that as I want to speak about identity, there are many ways that we identify. And of course, this is Pride Month, and I'm an out loud and proud trans-femme gendered queer person. I'm very excited to be that after my whole 68 years. I'm turning 68 this year. Of trying to understand myself, right? So I was born and raised in Alabama. I was born in 1956, and I came out of the closet actually in the 4th grade, but I didn't quite have words for what it was that I was trying to express. I just knew that I wasn't a boy, and that my parents were raising me as a boy, and that everybody else referred to me as a boy. So, but I didn't also knew that I wasn't exactly a woman, although my psychology, my way of moving in the world is very feminine. So I didn't know how to describe myself, and it took me many years to find the words trans, femme, gender, queer, meaning that I know myself as a feminine being, a feminine spirit, in a body that, was assigned male at birth. And I have no desire to change my body or anything like that. I like my body the way it is, and I feel it's my own unique, feminine expression in this certain particular body. So that's one way of identifying, and we all have those particular body identifications. There's no wrong identification, male, female, other, those are body identifications. I don't know if you've ever thought about this either, but our thoughts and our emotions, according to A Course in Miracles, which is what I work from and what I'll share with you from, are also a part of our body. And also, it extends to all living beings in this way of perceiving. All living beings are a part of our body because we are all one. And I even like to think of what our bodies are actually made of, from a creation standpoint or evolutionary standpoint. But we're actual, minerals from the heavens. We're actual stardust, that came originally down onto the planet billions and trillions of years ago, and developed all life on Earth. So in that way, I like to think of those things because it makes me feel connected to all that is, And so body identification is very important, It helps us navigate the world in which we live. And there is, I'm trying to find something here, so forgive me. There is more to what we are rather than just our body identifications, which the meditation I just worked with helps me connect to. So in that way, I'm going to tell you a little bit about A Course in Miracles here. A Course in Miracles says, many times actually, it's one of the biggest lessons, that I am not a body, I am free. I am still as God created me. Now, that doesn't mean that we ignore our bodies or the bodies of others or the planet that we live on. And in fact, it makes me feel more connected to all of that, And in that connection, I find a way forward in my grief. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, my husband just passed, and we've all been speaking of folks in our lives who are having difficult moments. And what I've begun to understand is that everything that we experience is transitory. It arises and it falls. And when we pray and it's a way of accepting all of that, Not every thing that I wished for my husband occurred. He left the planet in his body, and it shattered me. And I know you know how that feels. Because when you're with someone for 20 years or more, your identity gets wrapped up in each other. Do you agree? Do you know what I mean? And it's glorious. Isn't that a glorious feeling? To know someone so intimately. And when that passes, for me there was a decision. Do I retreat, which I very much could have, as I was so overcome. My husband and I had just bought property in Vermont. We were planning our forever home. We had all the plans drawn, and we had the money ready, and we were just looking for a contractor. And wow. it all dissolved. So what do I do with that, right? So, something which is normal and which happened to me was that the first thing was fear, right? Like, oh my God, now what? And then I began to think of my practice and my connection to spirit, which I know is really true and real, you know. And this lesson came before me, but what happened right before then is that I remembered a Marianne Williamson quote. Do you guys know who Marianne Williamson is? She actually popularized the book A Course in Miracles. She didn't write it, but her book A Return to Love actually brought a lot of national attention to A Course in Miracles. And she said, and I think this was what Nelson Mandela said also when he was released from prison, but she said, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that we are most frightened of. We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us. Not just in some of us, but in each and every one of us, yes. And as we liberate ourselves from our fears, our very presence will automatically liberate others. Oh my goodness. What words of hope. My goodness. And there's nothing wrong with fear. There's nothing wrong with feeling your fear. We have to feel our feelings, right? We have to. If we don't and we stuff them down, oh my goodness, that causes all kinds of problems. As we can see in the world. So I wanted to address that fear. And luckily, I have a very wonderful church and a community that surrounds me, you know, with love just like you do. You know, and it's such a blessing, isn't it, to have each other. So what became very real for me is Glenn's voice speaking to me. And one thing he used to say that I didn't really, I sort of intellectually understood, but didn't really live into or feel so much in my heart until after he passed, was that God is in our relationships. Isn't that powerful? It's so wonderful. We can actually see the movement of that which we call God, the sacred mystery, in our relationships. And sometimes we get mad at each other, sometimes somebody irritates us, you know, we're human, you know, that's all a part of it. But even in that, if we extend ourselves, we can see God in each other, even if we don't like a person. Now this is interesting because I've had this experience, and just quickly, yesterday somebody came up to me that it was aggressive and had a certain sort of, you know, and it was actually scary to me, you know. That happens every now and then at a pride event, you know, you get so-and-so that wants to stir things up. It's okay, you know, but this actually scared me. But what happened was, I looked that person straight in the eye. And I didn't say anything, but I just looked at them, and I recognized what was true in me, the life and the spirit and the love that I'm speaking about was actually in that person. And we were connected in that, even if they didn't think we were. And you know what that did for me in that moment? I couldn't believe it. I felt my arm like raised like this and put it around that person. And what I understood was they were looking for community. And I didn't know that. They live about 30 minutes away in Maine, and they were actually looking for community but didn't know how to reach out. So the approach was very aggressive. So if I had let my fear run me, I would not have been able to make that connection. And so, a series of miraculous events happened, and Christopher, who is a big Christopher Bellis, if you don't know him, is one of the organizers of Pride. In fact, I think he's probably the head of Pride. And I got to introduce this person. Now, this person was the LGBTQ person, which is even more interesting, right? So, so see how fear can be sneaky. Like even if you think you're safe, whatever, in a situation, and the person you think is on the same page with you, and all of that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden you get this energy that just knocks you out of the water. It takes mind training, doesn't it? It takes discipline to be able to stand, not run, and look somebody in the eye and recognize that what gives me life also gives this person life. So such a wonderful thing happened, and they've been invited to come participate in the Pride activities here in North Conway, and the whole encounter turned out to be an amazing, beautiful experience of connection. So I just wanted to share that, that with you. And what came to my mind even more strongly was this lesson from A Course in Miracles, which, are any of you familiar with A Course in Miracles at all? It is a book that was scribed through a Jewish atheist psychology professor at Columbia University in New York City in the late 60s, early 70s. So this person, her name was Dr. Helen Schuckman. She was an atheist. She didn't believe in God or anything like that, and she kept hearing these profound words of wisdom come to her. Now, we all have this ability, it's not, you don't have to think it's something unusual. It really, it'll drop into you when you're in a state of stillness. A lot of times, you'll get, oh my goodness, this download of wisdom. So it was kind of like that. So she began to write it down, but first she thought she was crazy. And then she reached out to her colleagues, and one of her best friends said, well, let's just write this down. And so as they were writing it down, there was profound wisdom to be shared, and it became this book called A Course in Miracles. So I like to work with the workbook, and it's a daily there's a daily lesson for you to follow, and so that helps me in my life because, again, it's like the it's a practice that I can do throughout the day that keeps me grounded, So as I was considering all that had happened and, what Glenn told me about God being in our relationships, this lesson came to me. And it's lesson 161. And Helen, in her writings, uses sort of King James style language. So there's he, hims, and gods, and Christ, and salvation, and all of those things are fine with me. Sometimes it's off-putting to other people. But, I grew up in a Christian church, even though I'm not a Christian minister. So I gravitate toward those words and symbols, and they really resonate with me. So, and she does speak from the God as he, and as all of us as sons of God. But that means all of us, not just male, or female. So anyway, the lesson says, give me your blessing, Holy Son of God. what does that mean? So I'm asking you, I'm humbling myself, right? I'm taking a position of humility. And I'm saying, I recognize the Christ in you. I see it in you. And I'm asking you for your blessing. Wow, what a switcheroo. I'm like, what if I don't like this person? Well, one brother is all brothers. Every mind contains all minds, for every mind is one. So that speaks to our universal kinship, our universal oneness, which maybe is sometimes hard for us to conceive, right? But again, as we practice noticing what is really the same within each of us, although we express in diverse ways. Isn't that glorious, though? Look how God has created the world we live in, the amount of diversity in all species, in all plants, in all animals. Look at the variety, you know? I'm just part of the variety. And so are you know? So it really does matter what we think, what we say, how we act. Not to be, regimented or to codify you into some kind of you must do this or that or the other. But it makes a difference, how we approach each other and what we say about each other in the world. It does make a difference because we're all one and it can be felt. I think I'm not going to get too broadly into this, but I think really if you extend it out into our world and our politics and what's going on and everything, you can see how important this is. Because fear is a loop, right? And if we live in fear, if we believe in fear, if we let our minds believe in fear, we explain it this way in our church. So what you believe, you experience, right? And then what you experience, you believe again because you just experienced it. And it just keeps reinforcing itself. And it's not to put a sugar coat on anything. We have to be, real about the events that are happening and each one do our part and take our stand, how we are moved to do so. But it is important to understand that a fear-based position in the world creates more fear. And a love-based position in the world creates more love. And so that doesn't mean we have to go to lunch with everybody or hold hands or whatever, but it's a position. It's a position. Instead of taking, I'm afraid of you, or even if that happens, to be able to know, no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. The truth of our being is that we are one. So that's the position we're talking about here. And it goes on to share this prayer. Give me your blessing, Holy Son of God. I would behold you with the eyes of Christ, meaning the Anointed One, meaning that which is common in all of us, meaning that light in you sees the light in me and vice versa. I would behold you with the eyes of Christ and see my perfect sinlessness in you. Wow. Wow. Is that possible? Oh my God, it just gave me chills. I felt this so strongly. I've read this lesson many times, but about a couple of months ago when it came up in my daily workbook, and after Glenn had passed, I was like, oh, that's what he meant. That's what he meant. That's why God is here in our relationships and how we interact with each other. And it is possible to see that we're all innocent. We can see that innocence in each other. if we choose to do so. And it is a choice. So I was speaking to one of my friends at church about this, and I came up with a little practical instruction to help myself practice this blessing. So I'm like, I said it this way: give me your blessing, in parentheses, name of person I'm upset with. I would behold you with the eyes of Christ, in parentheses, the light in me sees the light in you, and see my perfect sinlessness, in parentheses. It becomes possible to see my sinlessness when I release my arrogance. Wow, that's what came to me. Oh, so this position of I know better than you, and get away from me, and I'm afraid of you, and all of this is actually, from my point of view, an arrogance on my part, because I'm not open to receiving the blessing that that person has to offer me. Now, if somebody's coming at you with a knife or going to shoot you with a gun, go the opposite direction. But I'm talking about in our everyday encounters with people, It becomes possible to see my sinlessness when I release my arrogance and ask, insert name of person I'm upset with, for their blessing. And I see my perfect sinlessness in you. And what that said to me was, this spoke of humility. And am I willing to be humble? Am I willing to practice humility? And in that practice, I began to see humility brings harmony, and harmony brings community. So, wow, what a great thing. And so a short form of this practice would simply be, I trust my brothers and sisters who are one with me. So I've been doing that. I trust my brothers and sisters who are one with me. I sort of do it all the time. So I go into the store, or if I'm afraid to go somewhere, or if something, arises in me that I have fear about, I will say, I trust the storekeeper that is one with me as I walk into the store, right? Or I trust the drivers that are one with me on the highway. That's a really good one. That's a really good one. And you may not feel like trusting them, and that's okay too. But just in the practice of repeating this, it takes us from fear-based thinking into love-based thinking. So that's what I have to offer to you today for your consideration. Again, I'm not telling you to do anything or dictating or having any dogma for you to follow. I'm just sharing with you my practice and what works for me. So, I don't know how, I just keep going on, so I don't know how much time, or if we're at the end of our time, but I was going to say, if anybody had questions or sharing that they would like to do about anything I might have said or about me personally or anything, I would love to do that with you. Yes?
Say, so few people arrive to what you're talking about because of the fear.
Fear. Yes, we do.
I have conquered a lot of my fears, but it's taken me a lifetime to get there.
Mm-hmm.
See, these three children, I've come to one level, and now I'm coming to another level. I don't give up. But it's a journey.
It is.
Gets there.
It is.
But what you're talking about is hard, and we can give different understandings and phrases to approach the same
Yes.
thing if
Yes.
we need to.
Yes.
But what you're talking about is rich.
Yes.
And so few people really get it.
Yes, it's hard. I'm not gonna say that it's not. And yes, exactly. That's why we call it a practice, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. And I also say to a lot of times, if I just have a little willingness to be willing to practice, you don't have to be willing. You just have a little crack. What does Leonard Cohen say? The crack, lets the light in. Yeah. So that's what I propose in dealing with any of these things that are difficult, is that if I'm just willing to see it a different way. And I don't have to punish myself about, I'm doing it wrong. No. Yeah. Because that makes it worse, So, yeah.
I'm going to say probably, like, if people want to talk with Reverend Norman, we'll do that.
Okay, we'll do that. Sure. Yeah. Because, we're wrapping it up. Yes, of course. And I'm a big talker, so. So we're going to do the offering. Is that what's next? Okay, great. So let's do the offering. Thank you for having me and listening to my contemplations. All right.
And you know what? We're both going to give and receive this morning. So if you were not here for Father's Day, there are colorful stone hearts. Please take one.
Oh, I love those. Oh, I want one. Thank you. Oh, goodness. All right, and I'll play a song while we're doing the offering. I am blessed as the child of love. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. I have a right to be here, and the universe wants my happiness, perfect joy and contentment. I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed. And there is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. And there is nothing to fear. 'Cause you are blessed as the child of love. You are blessed, you are blessed, you are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and the universe wants your happiness, perfect joy and contentment. You are blessed, you are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. So I think we have one more sing-along. Shall we do one more? Yeah. If anybody needs to go, feel free. Yep. Does that sound good? Shall we? I think you all know This Little Light of Mine, right? All right, here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Are we gonna hide it under a bushel? No. Here we go now. 1, 2. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, hide it under a bushel. I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel.
I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Okay, sing it with me. Here we go now. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, thank you everybody for having me today.
I just want to thank Reverend Yolanda, and I have presents for you, but here. Okay, I'll find mine. Time to our church, so if you guys just want to give her another round of applause.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful.
And so every week we close and we just give you a blessing to say, go in peace. So this week, go with the blessing of peace in your hearts. Go with the blessing of light in your hearts. And the message that we are all children of God, and may we see that God and that light in each other as we go in peace. Go out into your day or come back and enjoy Susie's great cooking and Cheryl's fabulous offerings and have conversation with us if you prefer. Please join us
Yes.
and go in peace.
Thank you. Blessings, everyone.
others.